We are live. We are rocking and rolling. What is up, everybody? It is May 12th, 2026, and another wonderful episode of Empowered Transcendence. With your host, I'm Nick. It's my lovely wife, Bree. Welcome back. We are on episode, what, 3? 3. And you haven't canceled this yet. That's pretty good. Why are we so bouncy?
We need a new camera.
They're bouncy. Woo! Fresh off 2 weeks ago, our awesome episode on frequencies. If you can catch that, you can catch the replay on the XL network.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Under the Empowered Transcendence, you can hit the playlist on YouTube or on the website and replay and see what frequencies are all about, how they can benefit you on everyday life, from health to positivity to helping your mental state to your paranormal investigations, all that great stuff. You know, this series is dedicated to the very interesting topics that you typically don't get on your paranormal, metaphysical, spiritual highway. And this is right up Bree and I's alley. So this is something that we are super excited to do. And tonight we're going to be talking about Bree. She's like, what?
So my favorite color is purple. I love all fur babies. Recently got married. We have 6.5 kids. Oh, not that kind.
No.
Oh.
No.
What do you mean?
You know, like they do at you at work. Like, talk about your special gift. Or what your special thing. Yeah, so tonight we are going to be talking about mediums. The good and the bad. And then we want to dive in. Mainly, we want to dive in. How do you receive a reading? What should you expect? What should be your mindset? And what you should understand from what the medium is trying to tell you during the reading. And I think that's primarily what we want to hone in on.
Yeah.
Now, Bree herself does readings all the time for people. She is known as the self-help psychic medium, and hers are a little different than most people's. But you know, there's always fallback questions that come Bree's way after, you know, her doing her sessions with her clients.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't quite understand, they don't comprehend. So we want to dive tonight, especially in that aspect, as what you should expect, what you should understand, and what you should know going forward after you receive this reading. So, but first, you know, we're going to talk about, you know, what the hell is a medium? What is a psychic medium? What is a shaman? What is an intuitive person? What's an empath? All that great stuff. And understand that, you know, just like trying to find the right doctor or the right masseuse or right veterinarian, somebody that fits you, like you vibe well with, like you like, it's going to be the same way when finding a specific medium to help you in your journey, whether it be something mental or spiritual or self-guidance. You know, you're not going to mesh well with every medium that you run across. But it is beneficial for you to explore, get a reading from multiple style of mediums and see which one that you kind of vibe with. Not that they give you the answers you want, but one you feel like in your gut and in your heart that you trust, and you trust what they're saying, and they're not manipulating you for money and stuff like that. You know, so I guess, you know, starting off tonight, let's dive into the different aspects real quick. You know, let's talk about, you know, the difference between a shaman, a psychic, a medium, a tarot reader.
Okay. So the one thing that I think a lot of people have a misconception of is they hear medium and they think all mediums are the same. And I like to tell people that we are as unique and as different as our fingerprints.
Okay.
No one of us are the same. We might have very similar giftings, but we're not the same because not everything is going to be shown, relayed, spoken to the same way to each of us. It's like if you're standing, you have a speaker standing on a stage and it's a circular arena and you've got people 360 around that stage. You have you've got, say there's 30 people surrounding the stage. You now have 30 different perspectives and they're all hearing things differently. It's relaying differently to them. They're seeing things differently, right? And that's how it is with mediums. Everybody is not the exact same. Now, with shaman, what people seem to misunderstand with shaman mediumship is that is a honing into the Native American aspect.
Right.
You are practicing shaman and Native Americans. That would be your medicine man. That would be your healer. They're the ones that would work with the god or the gods, nature, and your healing, bringing the blessings, possibly throwing a curse, depending on what tribe or nation they come from, right?
Right.
So, shaman mediums typically work they work in, it's difficult for me to explain. I don't do this myself. I know your sister does.
So let me. So from my understanding over the years, a shaman, a true shaman, can actually go to the spirit realm.
Yes.
Where a medium
The spirit realm
can,
comes to us.
the spirit realm comes to you. You can communicate with spirit, but on this plane.
Right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, like with shamans, there's a lot of dream work. There's a lot of, you can go and intervene on the spiritual plane. Like you're able to go and astral travel in a sense. And I know a lot of people are like, Bree, but a lot of people astral travel. Yes, but this is more of a specific type of astral travel. Like they are prepared to go into certain places and do certain things. They're more in tuned and honed with different types of frequencies, tying into last week.
Ooh, we like the
and
ties.
vibes, so there is a whole different level with shaman. So you've do you want me to just real quick go through all
Well,
of like the different things, or do you want to touch on each one? How do
yeah,
you
no,
want us to do
I got a
this?
couple different questions I want to ask you on this, but on the shaman and the astral travel, the difference is if you dream, most likely at some point you've astral traveled. Okay, so everybody has the ability to do it. The difference is a shaman can they can do it with a purpose. They know how to control it. They know what they're going to do. That whole aspect versus a typical person.
Okay, so if anybody has seen the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio, there's some really good players in this movie, actually, but his is the first name that pops to mind. He is the main character. Michelle Williams, I believe, is in this one. She plays his wife. They're with Inception, they are doing there's this serum that they're able to take, and they go and they meet a specific, they're able to build dreams.
Yeah.
They are able to go and accomplish specific goals in dream state. Inception, if you have not seen this movie and you want to try to understand what is it like to go with a purpose with astral travel, I highly suggest you watch this movie, because this is the best way to explain this in the most dumbed down form, I think, for people to understand without getting into all the woo-woo language. Watch the movie Inception. It will give you such a clearer, you're going to come out with a lot more questions. And, we'll probably end up doing another episode touching more in depth, bringing this back to the forefront. But I highly suggest, if you don't understand, specific astral travel and how shamans are able to maneuver and use this to help in the spirit realm, watch this movie. I will say that shamans aren't doing all the stuff that they're doing with the time sleep and the kicks. There are kicks. They have specific things that are triggers to help them know whether or not they are still in sleep state or in human form, like in like real life.
Right.
So
it's a great movie.
It's an amazing movie. I actually introduced Nick to it because a lot in the paranormal, I was like, oh my God, this is like Inception. And he was like, what? And I'm like, Inception, the movie Inception. And he hadn't seen it. We rented it and we got done. I was like, what'd you think? And what'd you think? Can you see the parallels?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They have intentions and narratives, and they were able to manipulate things. And, it's something, a person that's on that level, that has mastered that level, let's say that, is able to do that. Let's go back to the medium part. Okay. So let's understand first that yes, mediums communicate with spirits on our plane or on our dimension. We're not going to the spirit realm. But let's explain that each medium can see, hear, and feel completely differently.
Oh, 1,000%. So not all of us are gifted the same. There's a lot of different gifts that have been dispersed, and I fully believe that everybody has the gift. It's just whether or not you will allow yourself to embrace it. You will allow yourself to become awake, if you will, to so to speak. Or what pill are you going to choose, the red or the blue?
Some would say that you are able to get the Christ oil up to that pituitary gland, and you are able to open that pituitary gland, and that's what allows you to do what you do.
So for me, I come from, okay, so for those watching, I come from a Christian faith background. I'm a spiritual mutt. I've been through a lot of denominations. The last one that I formally associated with would be Pentecostal, non-denominational. You've probably seen their churches all over the place. Assembly of God. A lot of Assembly of God, Pentecostal, non-denominational churches believe that the Holy Spirit speaks to you, believe that you hear from God. A lot of people speak in tongues. There's a lot of prophecy. I believe that my gift is divine, that it comes from above. I actually was recently asked by somebody, is it demons? With the type of readings that I give, with how spirit comes to me and the information that I'm given, a demon is not going to want you to heal. A demon is not going to want you to better your life. And that's what my readings are. My readings typically circle around traumas that you've gone through, hardships you've gone through, that you're going through, or something that has yet to come down the pipeline for you. That's when your loved ones will come into the reading, or other spirits, your spirit guides, your guardian angels will step in, and I will get visions of very vivid in detail. And I'm shown and told different things that need to happen for you to be able to go through, to allow the healing to happen, for that healing to take place, or to strengthen yourself up for what is about to come. So that way you can walk through it like a boss and come out even stronger on the other side. A demon's not going to want that for you. With me, I see linear across time. So it's past, present, future. I've got another really cool tricks thrown in. I'm able to channel when I do certain things like Estes. I'm able to channel. I get direct visions. I'm able to, and there's macaroni. Hi, babe. Yeah, but I'm able to remote view. I have I can do psychometry, where I can touch things and I can read energies off of it. A lot of people are not able to do that. Some people are gifted when it comes to reading things like tea leaves, bones, tarot cards, oracle cards. They even There's, and I can't remember the name for them, but it's only four basic symbols. They're like the beginner, like the original, like the OG cards that were first used. And you use your own personal interpretation, your gut instinct when you're reading these cards. It's all about interpretation. Um, can I use cards? I could if I want to, but I want it to be an authentic experience. I don't ever want somebody to say that I'm being manipulated or that it is a disjointed reading, because I'm relying on something else instead of going off of what I see, hear, and feel. For me, my feeling is the strongest. So if I'm giving you a reading and you start having a panic attack or your anxiety kicks up, I will struggle with breathing, tightness in the throat, which I'm actually feeling right now. So I have a feeling somebody is watching right now that's actually like, this is hitting home, and you're feeling this. There's a tightening in the throat. Your heart is racing a little bit. What I need you to do is close your eyes. This is going to sound really weird, but just work with me on this. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Slowly exhale, counting to 10. What this is going to do is it's going to force your body, your chakras, to come back into alignment. It's going to force your body to have to focus on breathing, and your anxiety is going to lessen. You might need to do this a few times, but this is something that anybody can use as a technique to rely on to help when they have panic attacks, when their anxiety kicks up. It's a great thing that I do. I had to learn to do this myself before the paranormal came around, when I stopped taking my medication for anxiety and postpartum depression. I went off of that stuff cold turkey, and my panic attacks, it would feel like fire running through my arms, through my veins, up my back. And I had to learn different breathing techniques to move through. So, but this is something that you can do. I just happen to feel that you're going through this.
So let me ask you this. So a lot of times paranormal teams or content creators will, you know, bring a medium on their investigations.
Okay.
And I think one of the misconceptions is that a team is going to bring a medium in, and this person is going to walk in this location, and they're going to go, ghost here, ghost here, ghost here, ghost here, and full detail of this person, and see this person head to toe like they're in real life, and this or that, and it's going to be as easy peasy, just like that. So let's talk about that. How that right there, it's not going to happen. For one, will they see probably some spirits like that? Possibly, possibly. So let's talk about the difference in how mediums, when they're walking, let's say they're walking a location, how they visually see them.
Okay. So first off, if you're bringing, I want to put a little PSA out there. If you are taking a medium with you to a location, vet them out. Please, for the love of God, vet out who you bring with. Because if you're looking for somebody to read a location and be genuine, you need to know their background. You need to know what they're going through personally. That could influence your investigation.
Look, it's as simple as, okay, you're bringing this person on board, and you are already like 100% invested, like whatever this person said is going to be gold. And this person could walk around and be like, I'm not really, talking to themselves. I'm not saying shit. So I'm going to make some shit up. Oh my God, there's this little girl. She's 9. She's right there. Her name is Susie, and she's got curly hair and a long dress. And she was brutally unalived with this. I mean, they can make up whatever, and you're going to believe them because you brought them there for that. You're excited for it. You're just anticipating it, and you're going to run with it.
Well, and it's not just the fact that if you don't know that they can truly do what they say they can do, like I was saying, if they have stuff going on their back end, you're going to want to like make sure they're in a good spot, because if they have stuff going on, this is the same philosophy that the same fact that applies to anybody going on an investigation or going to a location. Your energy is going to dictate your outcome. Even more so when you have somebody that you are bringing in to perform a service, such as a location reading or helping you with communicating with the spirits. If they are not in a good spot, say they are getting ready to go through a divorce, say they just had an awful fight with their children, they just got a 30-day notice of eviction and they have to figure out quickly what the fuck they're going to do for themselves, their animals, their spouse, their children, their belongings. They're not in a good spot.
But as a medium,
And
shouldn't they have seen that coming?
no, because if that's the case, we would have already won the lottery. You have to understand.
I know that. But
We
I'm poking fun.
well, no, but let's address that real quick. Rabbits, like let's go on a real quick side trip, shall we? If we are only shown what we are supposed to see in the moment, 9 times out of 10, what I see is when Nick and I are going through something, or we're like, there is something going on and we're a part of it, or somebody new has come into our life. Like I don't read without being asked. I do not read without permission, but I cannot help what I see, what I hear, what I feel. Feeling is my strongest sense when it comes to my gift. So I feel just like I felt the panic attack, the anxiety that somebody was having. I feel emotions, I feel sensations of action. I will feel the motions of going through the vision of what I'm being given, not that I'm channeling, but it's like they use my sense of feeling to better relay the message that's trying to be conveyed. Um, so we're only given the information that we're supposed to have. If that is not meant for us to win that lottery, we're not going to get those numbers. If it is not meant for us at that point in time in our life to have the blessings, because we are still going through the hardships that we need to, so we can move on and level up to the next plane that we're supposed to be on our human journey, we're not going to get the helpful visions and information.
I mean that plays into the laws of the universe. Like it's meant for you right now. Your journey, this or that. Like you cannot manipulate the situation. I think you can shift your timeline, but even again, when you shift that timeline for something better, it's because at that time that's what it was meant to be in the universe in your journey. So regardless, you say, well, I can manifest and jump timelines, or this reality to that reality. Well, yes, you can, but in the grand scheme of things, it was still meant to be that way.
Right.
You were meant to figure it out. You were meant to do that. So that's all goes down to like universal law, but in my opinion.
Right.
But in the medium aspect, is it like I walk into Arby's and I see a person standing there handing me a beef and cheddar? Do they look like that? Are you visually seeing them with your physical eye, or is it when you're walking in you see with your third eye, like almost like you zone out and you see an image, and that image is that spirit?
Okay, so say going back to you talking about
Now I want a
bringing
beef
a
and cheddar.
medium, bringing a medium with you onto a location to read. You can take 4 mediums in, and all 4 mediums might see one thing or two things that are very similar. They might walk through, do blind walkthroughs, right? All 4 of them come out. They've got these amazing notes, but they don't share their notes to the very end. They might all briefly touch on a few small things worded differently, but then they're all also going to see, hear, and feel completely different things. We've been on investigations where there was a total of 4 mediums. 3 of us did a walkthrough with a notebook. I saw a certain period of time. Another medium saw the period of time right before what I saw, and the other medium saw like present day. We all 3 saw a different point of time. And so it's like you're not always going to get the same thing, but when you're able to sit down and compare your notes, you can kind of fill in gaps that's missing And those gaps that we're able to fill in, then we can find out the history of the location, right? We can get the tour after the walkthrough, and we can go, shit, okay, this correlates with that, that correlates with this, and we can go, okay, what we're learning now on this tour completely makes sense and validated the reading that we got. Nobody's going to really, like, you can have 10, you've said this before, you can have 10 meetings in a room, and um you a spirit could walk in and 5 mediums can go, oh, energy shift. But
Yeah,
three of those
I want to
mediums,
talk about that after this, but we'll get to that.
but 3 of those mediums, because they're still honing their gifts and because they were raised watching all the shows and they're stuck on YouTube, content creators, they freak out. Oh my God, there's an energy shift. It's got to be bad. It's got to be this. And they kind of take a seat and they want to go home at this point. The other 2 are like, it's an energy shift. Not really sure. 3 more could go, okay, a man walked in. 1 more can go, okay, it's a man, turn of century, 18 into 1900s, top hat, rain jacket, cane. The last one can go, his name is Jim. He's a father to Jim Jr. His wife was Sally. He was killed by a tragic buggy that flipped.
Now, does that make that last person a better medium than the other ones?
It absolutely does not. It just means that they are all gifted in different ways. It's no different than when I do, like, one of the things that I offer for people is not just the personal readings. I read objects, right?
Right.
And somebody can bring me a doll and I'm like, here's the full background. And sometimes there's like spirits and I'm like, they don't want to talk. I'm not the person they want to talk to. You're going to need to find somebody else. Right. Like, it's just that spirit might not want to communicate with you. You're not the person to receive that message. I've walked into locations and had a spirit look me dead in the eye and go, you're not the one to talk to. You're not for me. And turn around and walk out of the room.
We can also say that these 4 mediums that all walked through together and all picked up kind of the same thing, but in a different way. Obviously, the last one nailed it 100%, was able to give you the full story. You could also say that they're all on a different frequency.
They're all on different frequency levels. Some are lower vibrational, some are mid, and the last one who nailed it, I would say, is a higher frequency individual.
Right.
They are more open. Their consciousness is more cracked wide open to where they're not scared. They can walk into a location and have a conversation with the spirit and receive a message, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or beautiful, and turn around and tell the group, this is what we're dealing with. This is what I see. This is what I hear, and stand their ground because they've got strong boundaries in the physical and in the spiritual realm.
So, you have to understand and that work with a medium on a few projects, because one situation they walk into, they might not get anything, but the other one does. But then you take the same 2 mediums, go to a different location. The one that saw everything on the last one doesn't see anything here on this one, but the other one that didn't on the other one now sees the stuff. So it's matching the frequencies there, even on the intuitive level. Bless you. So some are not, some will see with their physical eyes, some will see in their third eye, some will just see flash images, okay, of different time periods, and they can only describe that flash image. There's not really a communication per se. It's not always you're going to walk in and have a conversation with the ghost. Like you're going to sit down and be like, hi, John from 1856. Tell me about your kids, and this or that. It's not always going to be the case. They're not always going to communicate, for one. You're not always going to get the full story. You're not always going to get a full image. Sometimes they'll walk in and it's like, I can tell you that it's a man. I can tell you he looks about 6'2", broad shoulders, heavy set guy. and that's all I'm getting, you know, and I could smell like a really cheap whiskey off of him or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you say let's say somebody comes to you and you're like, well, I'm a medium, but okay, we'll do this twofold. I'm a medium. The first one goes, I'm a medium, but I only can communicate auditory. I don't see them. And then the second one is, I'm a medium, but I only do it in my dreams.
Okay.
Do you think, okay, the first one, this person that only communicates audible, do you think they're truly a medium?
They can be, yes. Because not everybody is meant to see. Not everybody's meant to hear. Not everybody's meant to feel. I mean, there are times where we've gone into places and I'm running a full conversation and you're like, what do they look like? And I've looked you dead in the eye and been like, I have no fucking clue.
Okay.
I can't tell you what they look like. But I know that this is what they're telling me. This is, like this is exactly what they're saying verbatim. What do you want me to say back? Maybe they'll start to show themselves. I don't know. There are people that do hear. Their hearing is, I like to say, it's like cat-like reflexes, so to speak. They've got that higher sense of hearing, almost like a dog. And because of that, they are able to pick up more on the disembodied voices. They're able to hear certain things that we typically wouldn't, and they're able to have that conversation. But
so they hear on different frequencies.
Yes.
Sorry. Gonna do this all night.
There's people who, what was the second one again? Sorry.
So there are some mediums, and we do know one, and she works with the FBI.
Yep.
And she works on missing people cases, and a lot of what she does is through dream work.
Yes. I've actually given readings to people who, through the reading with what I've seen, I don't remember readings after I give them, just so you guys know. Certain ones have stuck out to me, and certain situations have stuck out to me. Like, I think it's really cool that I've actually, in the past 6 months, have come across, I would say, 3 to 4 people that do what I like to call dream work. They and with the dreams that they're having a lot of deja vu now in the real life. And I think that's cool because a lot of people think, oh, I'm just having these weird dreams, and they're not paying attention to the dreams. They're not connecting the dots. They're not thinking it through. They're just like, that was a fucked up dream. I need to forget this. On to the next, right? It's a new day. And, I try to encourage the people that I work with to start what I call dream journals. Keep a journal by your bed, because you're going to wake up and those dreams might be gone like that, but jot down, even if it's keywords, because the keywords can still trigger your memory, can still trigger certain aspects and bring it back to you at a later time and date.
So my opinion is a person that communicates with spirit, just audible, it's clear sentient or something like that? Clairaudient. So they are 100% still what you would classify a medium. I do not think that a person who does just dream work is a medium. I think that falls more in the shamanic line.
Okay, so I don't understand or know much about the shamanic line for me to speak on it. And I've even told people that that I've given the readings to, and I've told them that this is something that they need to look into themselves. This is not something that is in my knowledge base. I know the meaning of it. I know what they can do, but I don't know much about it. I do believe that dream work can be mediumship because you are being given sometimes information like coming down the pipeline, stuff that's yet to still come. You're being given, um, falling back on my Christian faith background, what we would call a prophecy, a prophetic word. You're given a prophetic dream. Um, those people that had those in the Old Testament were called prophets. They
Right.
were mediums. Um, and so
So you're
following,
saying Jesus was a medium?
I mean, he even acknowledged the existence of ghosts when he was on the Sea of Galilee walking on the water.
Hmm.
Did you guys know that?
Anyways, moving on.
That's another story for another
So-
episode.
Okay. Let's dive into the confusion where a person says, I'm a medium. Okay. How do you communicate with spirits? And they're like, well, I really don't communicate with spirits. I more read energy.
And you're an energy worker.
Okay.
You are able to read a room. There's a lot of people.
Or would you call that just intuitive?
I would say that you are sensitive when you are able to pick up on the changes of energy in a room, the changes of like when there's an energy change in a location and you're like, oh, energy just changed. Well, how does it feel? It feels like there was a real strong change. Okay. You're sensitive to your environment. I want to encourage the people who are able to do this. Stop calling yourself a fucking empath. You're not an empath. Everybody's an empath.
I knew that was coming.
Everybody.
I was going to pull it out.
Everybody is an empath. So what
Yes.
people don't understand.
If you have feelings, okay, if you have any feelings in your soul, you are empathic. You are an empath. Okay, there's a difference.
Unless you're Dahmer. I
think,
said what I said.
I don't think he had feelings.
Exactly. So that proves my point. So here's okay, we are all empathetic just as much as we are kind, we are caring, we like, we are sharing, we are loving. When a friend tells you that they are going through a bad time and you're like, oh my God, I wish I could help you, I am so sorry, and you feel badly for that person, guess what you're showing? You're not just showing kindness and caring and compassion, you're showing empathy. Look it up.
If she had the glasses on, they would have flew across the room. There you go. So, a lot of people, and I've run across this a lot in my career, and I've been around hundreds and hundreds of intuitive people, mediums to shamans, you name it, and they're all of them. They're like, "You're gifted. You're gifted," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not." Now, can I read the room? Absolutely. Can I walk into? I've done it numerous times. Even before Breeze walked in the room, I've walked in the room and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like something's. I'd be like, something has gone down in this room. Like, holy crap! Like I could feel it. And then Bree walks in. She's like, "Oh fuck," type of thing. And then she dives into what actually happened in that room. So I just, I feel energy. It's like instantly the vibe when I meet somebody. I can tell you within 10 seconds if I'm going to vibe with that person or not. Like, I'm just good at that. But I disagree with every single person that's ever said that. Like, I'm not gifted in a medium standpoint. Okay. Now, Bree knows this because we talk all the time. Like, I astral project all the time. Like almost every night. Like, I'm gone. Like, she's like, before we go to sleep, she's like, "Please be safe and come home."
I do. Every night when we're saying I love you, good night, we give each other our kisses, our hugs. We say I love you, and as I'm rolling over, I will tell him, please be safe, come home, don't go too far tonight. Because I can always tell when he's gone too far, because that's when, even using a CPAP, I've woken up for no reason, not just because I'm in menopause and I can't sleep. I've literally woken up and like felt a hand on me waking me up, and I will roll over and he's not breathing and I have to wake him up. Like he's too far.
And I've had some very very interactive dreams with some spirits, some past loved ones. Um, but at the end of the day, I still don't consider myself that whatsoever. I don't think I ever will, and it's different. I think people can be very intuitive, or what they call sensitives, and they 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 misunderstand, and then they end up calling themselves mediums, and think they can do the things that actual mediums can do, which is communicate with the spirits. But all they're actually doing is reading energy. Like, I can feel a, a feminine energy in this room. I feel like there's children in this room. I feel like the energy is really thick in here. Oh my God, it's really thick. And then people also misconstrue that when say they walk in, like, oh my God, the energy is really dense, it's really thick. For some reason, of course, it's probably because TV shows and YouTube, they all automatically think that that's it's bad, it's negative, it's getting thick, it's really heavy, and it's not. It could just be it's a spiritual presence that is there, and it's making itself well known, and you have no idea if it's good or bad. But just because that energy has got that way, you automatically assume it's bad. And look, I'm not knocking you, and it's great if you can do this stuff, and you're intuitive or sensitive. Just say that. Don't pretend to be something you're not, because that is just as important sometimes as what mediums do. In my eyes, I just like, don't misrepresent yourself, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Right. And I think that a lot of people, it's FOMO, the fear of missing out. They want to feel, they want somebody to find them special. Oh, I'm picking up on somebody right now.
Look, again, myself, and I know Bree, even us together the last 3 years, we have been around so many people that are mediums. And what's sad is we've watched them work, and we know that they're gifted. We know that they're a medium. Okay, we just having conversations, and off the convention path, or off the investigation path, or off the performing path, like having the conversations and being with them, like we know they're gifted people.
Right.
But then they get in the spotlight, and then they're performing, or then they're at their convention, or they're doing this, and they're fucking faking.
Anybody can dry read somebody.
And me and Brie will just sit there looking at each other like, why are you doing this?
So when you have somebody,
very well known people, like very well known.
So I want to tell you a few things to look out for. If you have somebody that is fixated on a number or a name, and they bring it up with it, and they're doing a gallery reading, and say they bounce with each person that they speak to, does this mean something to you? And it doesn't, that would be called phishing. You're fishing for information, especially when it is a very generic name. everybody's going to know a John. They're going to know a Mike. They're going to know a Steve. When it's generic in form, that is what we like to, what that is literally what is called phishing. Look for that. When they, before they talk to you, they're like sizing you up, like they're looking at you. You notice them looking at your hands, your clothes, you know, what, who's with you. Um, that's a dry read because I mean, I'll be honest, you don't have to be gifted to dry read somebody. If somebody's nervous, you can look at them and tell when they're nervous. If somebody's married, you can look at a hand to see if there's a wedding band or not. Or, you know, like there are specifics that are dead giveaways, and people will, like, they'll go to the woman who has the mom purse that has everything but the kitchen sink. I have one.
Or they give you a number, or they're like, I see a 3. There's a 3. There's a 3 associated. 3, a 3, a 3. And they keep dry reading and they keep fishing and they keep fishing till they find something that has some correlation of that number. And they're like, see, I told you. And you're like, oh my God. Yeah. So
just be careful for the people that are fishing. Be careful for the people that, so, and I'm not saying every medium has to do this. So when I'm giving a reading and Nick's seen me do this, I can't look at you. I won't look at you. I will start seeing and hearing, and I will look to the side so I don't hear. So I'm focused on what's coming through. And sometimes when I don't understand what's coming through, I get really weird looks on my face, and I don't want you being like, why are you giving me stank eye? So like I would tell people this at the beginning of the reading. When I'm getting information, I will not look at you. For me, it's another form of validation, because if I'm not looking at you and I'm getting information and I'm looking to the side, or I close my eyes, or you see me looking down, or I start playing with my nails or with my bracelets, and I'm not focused on you, but I'm focused on what's coming through, and I'm spitting it out and it's hitting home with everything that comes out of my mouth, it's a form of validation for you, because I'm not looking at you and reading off your reaction.
Or it's like, I see there's a male figure. There's a male figure, you know, and look, everybody's had a male figure or a female figure that's passed away. That's a loved one. You know, they're fishing, and it's sad, and because these, look, two things. There are so many brilliant mediums, shamans out there that are not in the spotlight. They're not on TV shows. They're not doing this. They're in a totally different community, and they are brilliant. Then you have the ones that get a little bit of recognition. They get on some shows, and their head gets so fucking big
that they start charging you $200 for 30 minutes.
And you think like, well, I have to go to this person because they're the best. They've been on a show. No, they got an opportunity to be on a show, and each one's completely different. And you know, and they're not. The problem with them is like, you get a reading from them, if they're not getting anything, they're not gonna say that. They're just gonna fucking bullshit you or dry read you and make you think that you got something. Like, if you really truly want a genuine reading, find somebody off the beaten path. Don't go to the starlets. Okay, they're gonna fluff you, man. They're gonna fluff you. And me and Bree have seen it. It's another thing that's really turned Bree and I off on the community, amongst 100 other fucking things. It is this, and it's because we know so many genuine, true people that are gifted, and they're, you know, either they just do it to do it, or it's like that's not their life, or they just don't want the spotlight. But I'm telling you, do your due diligence. Again, it's like finding the right doctor. It's like finding the right masseuse, the right vet, the right chiropractor. You know, Keep going. Don't just do one and be like, it's all hogwash. Like, keep going. You might get a reading from Bree, and it's like, I don't think Bree is my cup of tea. I'm going to keep going. And that might be the case. And we're okay with that.
It is what it is.
It's no different than, again, we go on an investigation and a spirit walks up to Bree and says, "You're not the one I'm supposed to talk to." And that spirit doesn't talk to her because it's not meant to be. That spirit's waiting on a specific person, you know.
It was very humbling because that happened early on. I was pretty flabbergasted. Like, why won't you talk to me? I'm here. I can see you. I can hear you. Talk to me. Think of it like this: when it comes to your primary care physician, you're not going to just settle for a one, right? If you are going to a mental health professional for therapy,
Oh, therapy, that's a good one too. Yeah,
you are going to, and it's going to piss a couple of them off. I just came out of the mental health field myself, and not because I was getting therapy. I worked in an office. I'm going to tell you, there are therapists out there that will be pissed and will not encourage you to try to see different therapists to see what is going to be who is going to resonate the most. There are people out there who are only literally in it for the money the same way.
I was gonna say that. Like,
as there are mediums that are only in it for the money. I personally, so real quick, like I will say for me, I don't believe in putting spirit in a box. So I know people are like, "Brie, you got to charge for your time," and I'm like, I guess. So I do a very minimal fee. I do hour blocks, so you get up to an hour. If we hit that hour mark and stuff is still coming through and you want to keep going, that's cool. But I use a timer on my phone and I let you decide what is best for you. I only charge $45 for that hour block. And I'm not here to cause harm. I'm here to help. And I see it as, how am I helping you if you're tight financially, especially with how our economy is right now? How can I be a blessing? How can I be helpful to you and say that I'm here to be the self-help medium if I'm causing you harm financially? That I'm being a hypocrite.
She has literally had very well-known mediums, reach out to her pissed because she was charging so little, and it was a putting damper on what they were doing. Think about that. If that don't fucking tell you right there, it's not about helping, it's about pocketing, fattening your pocket. That's an issue.
Yeah.
What she does has no bearing on what you're doing. Again, potato, everybody's completely different. And if she feels like it's someday, we're like, nope, we're not charging anymore. We're truly going to help people.
I'm doing it for free.
Then that's her decision to do. And if you don't like it, well, then up your game a little better. I'm sorry.
I see it like this. If we are truly supposed to be working in love and light, like a lot of people that are mediums are like, oh, it's all love and light. It's love and light. It's love and light. Okay, and full stop on that.
Please don't go to a demonologist for your reading either.
But like seriously, like full stop. If you're really love and light, I understand you need to be compensated for your time. But if you are truly operating in love and light, you are not going to be concerned about how much money you're pocketing off of a session. If you're truly operating in love and light, your concern is this person's going through hell right now. I've got information coming through that is going to help this person walk through the flames and turn into the phoenix that they're meant to be, and build them up and give them the strength and give them the courage to fight on, to not want to unalive themselves, to not want to cause harm, to not want to give up, to try to quit the addiction that they might have, whatever it is they could be going through. Do, like, be that person, help them, stop being concerned about the almighty dollar. The way I see it, Nick and I, we're responsible for holding down our finances.
Mhm.
Now, if I give readings and we get extra money in from that, that's great. It's a blessing. We're able to use that to 9 times out of 10. Like, it's what are we doing? Like, we're paying it forward.
Yeah.
You know, like, we'll use that money for gas for when we pay it forward. We will redirect it in a way where we're still able to give back. You know, it's, I want people to be aware financially when they're getting readings. I want people to be aware when they're getting readings who they're going to. I want people to be aware when you're bringing somebody on an investigation. If you have somebody that walks into a room and goes, nope, can't do it, I'm out of here, you need to have a conversation with that person. Don't just go, oh, it's bad. It's really bad. That means there's a demon in here. You know, like, sit down. Oh my God, what did you pick up? Are you okay? You know, what did you get? Like, dig deeper, you know, but this is where vetting out your medium before you bring them on an investigation is going to be so important, because you don't want somebody who's like, oh, I see and I feel, or not see, but I feel, because they're intuitive with energy, claiming to be something that they're not, and then
I've insulted a lot of people. They come walking in, they're like, I'm a medium. And, oh, and they're like, well, I just feel it. I'm like, oh, so you're sensitive, you're intuitive. No, I'm a medium. I'm like, and they're like, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, here's another thing is getting a reading, like you setting up sessions with a medium. To me, it's no different than going to a therapist. Make sure that that person is not talking about your session to other people. I mean, is it under the HIPAA law? No, it's not. It's not. You know, I think it should be. You
it's
know,
actually being
because
looked into.
this. I mean, it is personal information that is coming through, and you're having a conversation with somebody. That person you should be able to trust. That it stays in house between you and that person, and that information should not go out into the public forum. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've been burned.
for instance, like when I dive into something, you know, we'll get this to in a second, but like I was into Reiki healing, which that's a whole nother conversation. I truly believe everybody should have Reiki sessions probably at least twice a year if you're in the paranormal community. But I, in my early years, I was interested in it, so I started going to different Reiki healers until I found one that meshed well with me and really had very enlightened, deep spiritual sessions, and it was very beneficial for me in multiple fashions. Just to turn around and find out that it was disheartening because that practitioner was telling other people about my session and my personal information. So
Oh, yeah.
obviously, I no longer went to that person or associate with that person because that's a big no no. Like, I'm entrusting you with some of my deepest thoughts and everything, and you know what you're doing, but to turn around and tell other people about that is a big no no.
I mean, in essence, they're weaponizing your what's private. And I, having worked in the medical field for 5 years, I know the HIPAA law like the back of my hand. And for me, I tell the people I give readings to, I will only repeat what comes through if I feel that you are a threat to yourself or a threat to others. I will reach out. And Nick knows, like, he's always on standby, because if something goes sideways, he's the first person I'm like, I'll text him and be like, 911. So he knows. Now, have I had to do that? Thank God, no, I haven't.
Let me chime in, Sarah, if you're listening. So we're going to answer your guys' question when we're done yik yakking. So Sarah, if you can keep tabs on that, we'll come back to these questions here at the end of the show. So moving forward, babe, this is the most important thing I wanted to talk to you about, because we've had conversations about this before, and I want to talk about the other end.
Okay.
Let's say I'm coming to get a reading. How should I understand what is coming through from the practitioner I'm going to see? What should be my mental mindset in receiving this information?
Okay, for one, don't go in with fear.
Okay.
Don't go in with fear. It's no different than you going to investigate a location. If you go to that person and you are so scared or you're skeptical, it doesn't matter what comes through that you need to hear to help you, or a message from a loved one that needs to be relayed, you're not going to receive it. You need to come into your reading with an open mind, an open heart. If you've got questions, I do tell people, if you have questions for me, write them down. Let me do my dry. Let me go through what comes through. I call that dry, because you're not giving me anything, right?
Right.
So let me go through what I've got. And then if you've got any questions, unless I'm told, start with questions. Because I've gone into readings where I'm ready to start receiving and just puke it back out, right? And I've been told, hold on, ask if they have questions.
Excuse me.
And I'm like, but okay, I don't understand it, but I will stop and I will ask. And come to find out, those people typically are the ones that have a notebook full of questions. They don't necessarily have the mindset to receive what I can get on an uninterrupted flow. They have a plan and a purpose for the reading. Now, granted, do they like the answers that they might get? Not necessarily. It's because you also have to understand, when you go into a reading, you can't put spirit in a box. If you want to better understand a situation, or
what about a bucket?
No, you need to put it all to the side. You need to understand that you can't manipulate. You can't manipulate and you can't control. Just like you can't do that to a physical human being, you can't do that to spirit either. This isn't a genie lamp. You're not going to get 3 wishes. It might not go your way. You might hear some hard facts, some hard truths that are going to sting. They might even bitch slap you a little bit. But come in prepared and ready to receive.
So let me ask you this: what happens, or what should a person do? During the reading, you tell them something, and spirit is pretty adamant. They're blah 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 blah. So you tell your client, but your client is going, that doesn't resonate with me.
Okay.
It doesn't resonate with me. And they're pretty emphatic, like, it doesn't resonate. But spirit is like, yes, the fuck it does.
Okay, so that's where they need to come in and be willing to be completely transparent with me. Be honest. And this is the one thing that in regular everyday life, because I can't control what I see and what I hear. I don't read.
Mackers.
Cat is going to kill the transmission. Here, say hi. So this happens in regular everyday life. I can't control what I see and what I hear. But when people blatantly lie to me, I might not be able to see the full situation, but I might feel the situation like something's
So
off.
if I'm saying that to you, do you feel like I'm lying to you? Or what if
Yeah.
I'm, but what if, how often has it been where you said whatever came through, your client's like, I don't think that resonates. I no. But then 3 months down the line, that actually does happen because it doesn't resonate with them right this second. And they're like, holy shit.
It did happen. So I tell people, look, these are your puzzle pieces. They're not mine. And I won't lie, when I first started, that was a very difficult concept for me to grasp because I am a very analytical person. I want to understand why this, why that. So information would come through, and I'm like, but this makes no sense. What do you mean by this? And they're not giving me anything. And so it's like I had to even learn this is not my information. It's not for me. I'm not that person. I'm not in their life. I'm not them behind closed doors. I don't know what their real life trials and hardships are. This is for them. So I always tell my clients, these are your puzzle pieces. I don't live your life. I don't know what's going on with you. This is for you. Now, some of these are going to make sense right away. You're going to be like, yes, 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 yes. There's going to be some where you're like, I don't understand, because it might not make sense now, but this might be something that you think about it in a couple hours later. You're like, holy shit, that's Uncle Jerry she just spoke to. Or it might be 3 months down the line and the situation happens and you're like, oh my God, this is what she was warning me about. And I didn't take it seriously. And she told me what I could have done to avoid it. But because I didn't know what she was talking about, I dismissed it. I've had people reach out and been like, yeah, remember when I kind of just blew that off? That just happened. What do I do now?
So we've talked about this as well. Somebody comes to you with love questions. They're looking for their one true love, okay?
Oh my God, yeah.
And this person wants the exact details of their soulmate, their one true love, okay? And your response to them is,
You need to understand that you're talking about a whole nother person. This is a whole ass different person outside of you. So you know what you want. You know how you want the situation to go. But you've got this whole different person that has their own wants, their own desires, their own likes, their own dislikes. They might want like they might want to get married. But what is their reality right now? Are they able to fulfill that? Have they healed? Maybe there's things they need to heal. Like, you have to understand there's what we like to call free will. So your free will is like, put the ring on it. Let's walk down the aisle. Like, make me your missus. Like, wife me up. And if you don't wife me up, like, I'm out of here in 6 months. And it's like, no, like, if you truly love that person, you should be, yes, still set boundaries. Like, look, I'm not going to sit here for 5 years. Like, you need to do what you need to do just as much as I have to do what I need to do too. Like, it is completely okay to have boundaries and realistic boundaries though, but don't force somebody, because when you force somebody to make a decision when they're not ready, because they might still be struggling through something, you're not going to get the response that you're hoping for. And it's difficult because when I have these types of readings, it breaks my heart because I see, I feel, and it's like, I know the genuineness of it. Like, this is your person and you know it's your person and you want your person now. You've waited how long for your person and you finally have your person. Well, guess what? This other person knows that, oh my God, you're my person. But the other person might be in a different area with things of like past trauma or current real life situations that they have to navigate through
So
before they can legally
let, let, let,
wipe you up.
let me chime in on this real quick. So yeah, so you have a man and a woman, or woman, man, whatever. So at that moment of your reading, these said two people are on this timeline, okay, and they're going forward. Now, at the point at that reading, if Bree was to go, it's going to be uh, a dark-haired man, little darker skin, short beard, maybe 6'1", 6 foot, this or that. Okay, and at that time, if that's what Bree is seeing, okay, here's the issue. Now this woman is leaving this reading, and she's like, I'm looking for a guy 6 foot, 6'1", dark hair, broad shoulders, short beard, little darker skin. Every other man is poop to the side. Now, 6 months from now, timelines shift and jump all the time.
All the
now,
time.
now that male, okay, his free will, his whole life. Now these two paths at some point were supposed to cross. Now his path has gone like this because he's made some bonehead thing, or something happened in his timeline, but her timeline is still going straight. Now the new timeline is a guy that's blonde hair, 5'7", very skinny, and that timeline, that is supposed to be her person. But now she is never going to look for that person because she is now fixated on what Bree said 6 months ago in this reading, and now she has to look for her knight in shining armor that has dark hair, short beard, dark skin, broad shoulders, bigger guy. That's who she thinks is going to be her soulmate. Or she finds that type of person, and that guy ends up being a piece of shit, a narcissist, a wife beater, or whatever. And she comes back to Bree and's like, well, I found the guy and he did this and this and this. You got it all wrong. It's all your fault.
But it's so here's the thing though too, like I tell them, like there's certain things I will not touch with readings. I don't like it. I feel very uncomfortable. For one, there's legal ramifications. I don't like touching certain aspects of medical. I don't like touching legal. I don't like, there are certain things that I will not touch because I have to protect myself first and foremost. I have to protect my husband. I have to protect our children. I have to protect my home. Two, I have to protect you too. If I see that there's something going on medically, I might be like, hey, so when's your next doctor's appointment? I think you might need to make a doctor's appointment. Well, why?
Just make the doctor's appointment.
I'm hearing you need to see a doctor. I can't elaborate because if I'm getting chest, right? Like what if what they're showing me because I feel, right? That's my strongest
I don't think a medium should go past that point.
Right.
Because you're misleading. If you was to sit there and say, I think you have heart issues, and now you yourself are going down a rabbit hole thinking you have heart issues because this medium says you have heart issues.
I just fucked you up.
Now you're fucking mentally fucked up. Now you're spending all this money on tests and this or that. Just come find out your heart's perfectly fine.
Right. So it's like I feel things, but what if I'm getting chest pain, right? And I'm like, okay, there's something here. It's not anxiety. This isn't like I'm not getting the throat thing like I typically do for anxiety. This isn't a panic attack, but I'm feeling chest pain. Now, if I were to sit there in a reading and say, okay, I'm getting chest pain. If I were to read you and tell you I'm getting chest pain, what's the first thing you're going to think?
congestion, heart issues, lung issues.
Right. But what if it's not you're a female? Okay, like what if I'm doing this to a female, say, right?
Breast cancer, breast
Right.
issues.
But what if, like, okay, so if I'm getting chest pain, right? A lot of people, the first thing that they would jump to, let's be honest, is heart.
Right, right.
Heart is going to be the first thing. But say it's a female and I'm getting chest pain, it has nothing to do with your heart, but you might have something going on with the girls. You know, there's certain things I will not touch because I don't want to read you down. I don't want to lead you the wrong way, but I will encourage, like, hey, when's your next doctor's appointment? Thank God this has not happened. I haven't had to do this. I have had people come to me for legal guidance. I did see things that were going on, and unbeknownst to me, like I'm sitting there and she's like, what are you seeing? And I was like, I see this person. This is what they look like. This is what they're dressed. And she's like, that's the caseworker. Mm-hmm. I was like, ooh, okay, I got to back up. And she's like, well, when is this going to come to a head? And I was like, you have to understand this is based on you and what you do. But there's other free will involved because you've got a whole legal thing going on. And all it takes is for one person to say, I don't like her. Doesn't matter what she does. I don't like her. And you're not going to get what you want in the end. So I was like, look, what I can do, I said, let's pull back from this. Mm-hmm. Let's focus on you and what we can do to help you right now. And we re-guided the reading. I focused solely on her. I went into the reading focused on her, had no clue I was picking up on the back end of this legal situation, So I had to redirect. And I was like, I had to really go, okay, guys, I don't want to touch this because this is involving something that can have massive repercussions for everybody involved. Let's redirect, And so when you get a reading, I really want to stress to people, be careful with what they say, weigh it out, take notes. Take notes, please, for the love of God, take notes. I get so happy when I'm giving a reading and somebody has a notebook. Because
I think that would be beneficial to take notes, because especially in the situations where you're like, I don't think that resonates with me right now. That doesn't make no sense. If you was to jot it down note wise and it happened within the next year, you're like, holy shit, she picked that up.
Right. Well, there's been times where I've been in the middle of a reading and somebody's like, that doesn't make any sense right now. And we're done. And we're like, setting up their next 3-month appointment. Cause I typically see people every 3 to 6 months. And I'm setting up an appointment. I remember this one lady, I was setting up her 3-month appointment and she's like, holy shit. And I was like, what? She goes, I was rereading what I had written down, and I know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about something else, but you're right. I had to see it in black and white for it to click and for it to make sense and resonate. And she was like, I know exactly what you're referencing here. So take notes, because if you go into a reading and say you're like, I want to find my soulmate, I want to know who I'm going to marry, and you are so mentally hell-bent on it, this person could have really good stuff coming through for you, but because you're so hell-bent on a specific thing that you're looking for, the other stuff that they're saying, you could be like, no, because you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about something completely different. But if you write it down and then you're able to go back and look at it, you're able to then be like, oh. Now, one thing I try to, there's different things I try to do with my readings to set myself apart from others. All mediums have different things that they do to try to set themselves apart from others. So I will typically try to take notes. I don't do notes in the middle of the reading, but at the end, I will jot back. I ask Spirit, bring back to me what's relevant. Bring back to remembrance what I need to write down. And it's not going to be everything I said. Because let's be honest, my readings can go 2 hours. Typically, my readings are 2 hours long. And I will write everything down that is brought back. And it might only be 5 tiny little pages, like we're talking like a 5x7 sheet of paper, front and back, 5. If you numbered all the pages front and back, it might be like 5 pages total, like only 2.5 sheets, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm writing down what they've given to me. So that way, and I make sure you have a copy. And that way, if you weren't able to take notes, you've got something to hold on to. But I can be in the middle of the reading, and I move on to the next thing that comes through. I don't remember what I just said. 9 times out of 10, I don't remember. And that's one thing you want to look for too when you get a reading, is somebody who they see you out in public and they're like, so that thing I gave you in that reading, how'd that go? Like, if it's true, they're not going to remember, because that message that came through was for you and only you in that moment. Now, are there things that I have remembered? There are. I won't lie, because they kind of blew me away. Do I remember everything? No. It's not for me. That was for you.
Yeah.
And that's how you can truly weigh out what's being said. Are they blowing smoke up your ass? Are they just giving you something because they wanted that $200 for that 30-minute time frame? Or did they give you something genuine and true from the heart that came from Spirit? Were they truly seeking out your best interest? Were they just giving you stuff on the fly and not asking questions? One thing I want to address questions real quick too. If I have a question, I'm giving a reading, I'll be like, okay, I've got a question, but bear with me. And I will let them know I'm only asking because I'm really confused, because what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing doesn't make sense, and I'm struggling with how to say this or how to explain what I'm seeing. And this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm hearing. And I will say it first. I don't go, so does the number 3 mean anything to you? I'll be like, look, I keep hearing 3, and this is what I'm seeing with the number 3. And they're very hell-bent on the number 3. And it's there's this color, and I see this many people, and I don't understand, because it's being really quick. And it's kind of blurry, but they're very insistent. And it's like, it's the same thing. It's repetitive to me. I know I have to keep repeating this because I need to say this because they won't stop. I ask, does this make sense to you? Does this hold any relevance? Because I don't understand this. If somebody's giving you a true reading, they're not going to be like, so what does 3 mean to you? Does the color red represent anything? They're going to give you the information on the front end and then follow on the back end with, does this make sense?
Yeah.
The question will always follow the information. If they are fishing or dry reading, and I will tell you this too, don't be scared to stop a reading if you feel that you are being played. If you feel that somebody is taking
you're spending
your
money.
money, don't be scared to be like, I feel like what you're saying is bullshit. I feel like you're dry reading me. I feel like you're taking me for my money, and I'm done. Don't be scared to speak up for yourself, because you're the only one who can speak up for you in that moment.
So, very important, guys. Vet. Don't be afraid to go to multiple ones till you find the right one. When you vet this person, ask other people that's got readings. Well, how did it go? What did you think? This or that, okay?
Look at their references too, sorry.
Understand the person that you're getting a reading from. What are they? Look at their social media. What do? Do they work a lot in the dark? Do they work a lot in the light? Because look, each medium works on different frequencies. They only search for certain things. Some I see a lot of them that it's all negative. It's all negative. Some's all light. Some are right in the middle. They'll give you both. You know. So do your due diligence, vet them out, find the person, find what fits you. Now, when you do that, look, take notes, take what they say to heart, and understand it's not always going to be relevant in the moment. This might
Mm-hmm.
be future stuff. This might be life altering stuff. This might be one of the times where you come to the fork in the road and it clicks in your head. Holy shit. When I got a reading 8 months ago, she referenced this, and now I'm sitting here. This is what this person was talking
I
about.
did have that happen actually. So a friend of mine, I hadn't talked to her literally since like high school. She saw that I was promoting myself doing readings, and she messaged me and she was like, I need a reading. And so we went and we did this reading. Well, I ended up doing a lot of readings with her and her teenage son, who was going through some stuff and needed some guidance. On one of the readings, she was like, before we start, she goes, do you remember the cardinal? And I was like, no. She's like, you don't remember the cardinal? And I was like, girl, I don't remember my readings. You know this. And she's like, okay. She goes, hold on. And she went and got the notes because she took notes during the reading. She goes, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. She goes, but you told me to look for the cardinal. She goes, now, remember how I was looking for a job? And I was like, yeah, because like afterwards we were catching up and she had told me she was looking for a new job. She goes, you're not going to believe where I work. And I was like, where do you work? She lives out in Colorado now. And she was like, I work for Cardinal. Now, somehow, I can't remember, but she read back the notes and somehow her grandpa was tied into this with the whole Cardinal thing. And she was like, I feel like my grandpa has sent me the biggest Cardinal ever. And she was like, when I got my executive office, there were carvings and all like glass and wood and all kinds of different cardinals all across my office. And we were doing this reading while she was at work, and she flipped the camera around and she took me for a walk through her office, and there's all these cardinals. So it was like, she's like, it didn't make 100% sense to me. She goes, it kind of did, it kind of didn't. I decided to just put it on the shelf like you told me to. If it didn't make sense, put it on the shelf and just see if it comes back. She goes, and then I got a job with Cardinal.
Yeah. So take notes, do your due diligence, and yeah. All right, Sarah, if you want to pop a couple of these questions up here real quick, and then we'll get out of here. If you could change one thing about the paranormal community, what would it be, and why? It could truly be anything. This question, you asked me this a year ago, I would give you a whole speech. Um, I don't think there's anything you can do to change the paranormal community whatsoever. My suggestion is find your tribe and stick with your tribe and have fun with your tribe.
Um, so I know Dylan a little bit more on a personal level. Dylan has been with me since summer of 23. That's why she calls me her mama. And I love you, baby girl. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I haven't talked to you in a while, and I apologize. We need to catch up. I will tell you, Dylan. Okay. First, Dylan, question. Are you still watching? I this might take a minute, but I need to see if she's still watching.
She just commented.
Okay. Yeah, you have. Is it okay if I speak freely with something that I'm seeing and hearing right now for you? I just want to make sure that she doesn't have an issue with something, and it's not going to give anything away. This isn't absolutely okay. So that's one thing I've learned to do. If here's another tidbit for people: with mediums are not going to walk
I'm
up
just
and just
old, man.
spit information
Just
at you.
old.
A medium is going somebody who respects you, and respects the information, respects the spirits, are going to ask permission. Hey, is it okay if I tell you what's coming through, what I see, what I hear right now? Dylan, what I'm getting is for you specifically with the paranormal is you need to reevaluate and pay attention to who you follow and who you're giving your support to. Don't be a sheep.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what community you get involved in. Put your 2 feet on the ground. Stand your ground. Be yourself. You'll find like-minded people. You'll find friends. You'll have a good time. You'll enjoy it. Don't get wrapped up in the toxicity. The higher you go in this community, and Bree and I have found this, there's not too many people we don't know. The higher you go, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
And you get it from both ends. You get it from the toxicity on the top, from people that are, I don't know, below you, that get jealous and want to try to tear you down because you found a little bit of success in what you're doing. Just do you. At the end of the day, 99% of us, this is just a hobby. This is something we love to do. Don't take that. Don't burn that sunshine out. Just have fun with it. That would be my suggestion. Was there anything else, Sarah?
There were a couple.
All these things come across to you.
Okay, so
this is for you.
Yep. So when I give readings, I get visions. I will see people come in. Sometimes I can see them clearly, standing in a room. As much as I see Nick sitting right next to me, I will see them very clearly, or I might see like a shadow, like an outline, like if they were to move, I could tell that somebody's there because it's like, if you ever saw Harry Potter, he's got the invisibility cloak. Like when he's in the invisibility cloak, you can tell like when it shows him on the inside, when he moves, like everything looks a little distorted. It's almost like seeing somebody, like there's distortion in the reality. There's a lot of times where I see them here. I see them literally with my third eye. But I'm hearing them in my head as much as I'm hearing Nick sitting next to me talking. It's like, what do they call it? Telekinetic conversation. And I'm able to speak back to them. So, the information, it's interesting, because it's like a lot of times, like there's times where I've read dolls and it's like, instead of like me, I always tell people your items are not haunted, they're spirited. A spirit has decided at that moment to call it home. Doesn't mean it's always going to stay. It might find a new home. It might decide it's time to wander. So it's not a haunted object, it's a spirited object. A spirit is with it at that point in time. That's how I like to term it. I'm not saying that's the end all and be all. But there's times where I've read objects like dolls, and the spirit is like, instead of having a conversation, it's like I'm watching a movie and I'm seeing what caused their demise, or I'm seeing the happy parts of their life that they want to relive, that they want, or I'm relaying a message, like their story got lost to time and they want it brought back to life. I think the most amazing doll I ever read, and it blew me away because we were actually able to historically back it up, and I didn't know this. It was a child, it was a female, the name was Amelia, and I kept seeing a ship, and then it was dark and I saw an iceberg, and I saw all these other ships in the water with barely any people in them. and I saw people drowning, and I was like, I'm getting this, and I'm like, and then I heard Titanic, and I was like, it's Titanic, Titanic, and I said, stop. And I was doing it on the computer. I said, hold on. This is pretty big. If this is true, this is really big. And I picked up my phone and I was able to pull up a passenger manifest, and I got the spirit's full name. Now, I told them there's another name because it was a first name. Amelia was the second, was the middle name. I said, there's a first name, but I didn't tell the people that I gave the reading to on this doll the first name. The next day, she opened up her Spirit Talker app and she's like, Amelia, are you here? And the name Gertrude came through. The passenger's name was Gertrude Amelia.
It's pretty cool.
So I was able, and that's one thing that I think is really cool about my gift is that connecting parts of history, being able to tell somebody's story that was lost.
All right, you got another one? Next up. Do you ever mistake a real person for a spirit or vice versa? Let me answer this first. Every quote unquote full body apparition I have encountered or saw, they looked as real life as talking to you. I'm talking to Bree. I've seen shadow figures, but I've never seen anything that looks ghostly per se.
There's been times where I'm like, Nick, did you see that? If I cannot distinguish spirit from flesh and bone, there's been times where I will be like, if Nick's with me, I'm like, did you see that? There have been times where, yeah, I've seen a person and it's made me do a double, a triple, quadruple take. Like, did I just see that?
Yeah.
Especially when I know I'm home alone, or I'm at the state house alone, or I'm at the store, and like the other day I was going to work, and I know damn well, I forgot to tell you about this. I know damn well I saw a car behind me. And I turned the corner and I looked over and there was no car. I think probably the coolest thing was my son and I were driving my oldest son. We've got 4 boys total. So my oldest son was riding shotgun with me, and we were driving from Wilmington, Ohio to Indiana State Sanitarium for ISS Con in 2023. And I'm in the left-hand lane, and I glance over and I see a car start to swerve into my lane. And so I swerve. And Alex is like, oh my God, Mom, what are you doing? But it's not like I lost control. Like, like when you see something, you go to swerve and you come back into your lane. That's what I did. And he's like, are you okay? Did you see like what's going on? And I was like, do you see that car? And he's like, what car? And I look in the rearview mirror. I look in the side mirrors. There's no fucking car anywhere around me. And as soon as Alex vocalized at first, he's like, Mom, there's no other car. He goes, holy shit, look. And he points across in the median is a big fucking memorial for somebody who had died in a car accident. And he was like, do you think it could be associated? Now, when I looked over real quick, I glanced over, I saw the car, and I saw the man standing outside the car.
Yeah, I mean, I was coming home to back to Fort Wayne, coming like a back county road, and coming down a hill, and there's coming up to like an S curve, and on the S curve, it's a big field. We're out in Amish country, but I saw an Amish man walking the fence line around there to the point I even seen him turn and look back. But as I come down up and around the S curve, where he would be, he was not there. He was gone. And I looked and I'm like, I knew. I mean, I even seen him
Look back at you.
turn back, like, hey, a car's coming. I'm going to make sure I'm looking. You know, and of course, I've seen him on investigations and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. I mean, they. It's not like TV. It's not like the movies.
No.
I mean, I'm sure you could probably come across something like that. I can't say it's not possible. I'm just saying, I have not. I
I
have not.
let's see, what was it? The summer of 24. We just got in the pool for Ellie, and Mom was over, and so was Willow. They were playing in the pool, and Mom and I were sitting at the table, and Mom had asked me to move chairs because she was going to work. She was going to color my hair, and she wanted me to move chairs so she could start doing it. And I got up and I was going to move, and I stopped, and I'm just standing there because I was so confused. And I watched this Amish girl walk right behind her, get to where the trees in our yard are, and then she just, like, I don't see her no more. Like,
Yeah.
and it was weird. It was like I literally watched her fade out. And my face must have said it all, because Mom's like, you look like you saw a ghost. And I'm like, yeah. And this was right when I was going through my awakening with everything. And like, that was really, like, it was really cool. But at the same time, I was like, what the fuck did I just see?
Right, right. Well, guys, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging out with us. If you like this kind of content where it's something a little different, we dive deep into some weird topics. Like last week was frequencies. Even we tied this week's episode into frequencies. Like and share the Empower Transcendence page. Help us share it out. Help spread the word. We're gonna find even more interesting topics to dive into in the future. Every 2 weeks, right here on the Paranormal XL network, the xlhub.com. You can rewatch the shows. Go back to the Empower Transcendence part.
Yep.
Hit the playlist. If you missed the beginning of the show, you can catch the replay, or help share out the clips that we'll be posting the next 2 weeks. We really appreciate it, guys. We like to dive deep into these quirky little topics, give our opinions, our thought processes, talk to you guys, see what you guys are thinking. We really enjoy this, and we look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks here. I don't know what the topic will be. If you ever have something that you feel like you want us to dive into, shoot us a message, shoot Sarah a message. Again, we appreciate you. And I don't know. We need like a phrase out. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, we do.
But
We'll have to work on that.
we'll work on that. But until now, show's over. Go to bed.
Love ya.